Welcome to episode 96 of the Sports Marketing Machine podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Neisser. In the world dominated by digital ads on Meta and TikTok and display, could the old school charm of a direct mail piece be your secret weapon this season? It has been working for a few teams already, and I want to share with you why it's been working and maybe some ideas for you to think about for this upcoming season. Welcome to the Sports Marketing Machine podcast, the show that helps those working in sports level up their marketing so they sell more tickets, increase merchandise sales, and grow their fan base. I'm your host, Jeremy Neisser. And I had mentioned in the intro that digital ads have really been a major part over the last several years in the marketing mix for a lot of sports teams. They're allocating a lot of money to their internet budget or digital marketing budget. However you're defining it, a lot of teams are doing that. But one idea that a lot of teams are starting to bring back that has been showing a lot of success this season are early is using a direct mail piece. So direct mail piece has been around for numerous years. You go into your mailbox, you open your mailbox, there's a mailing from someone. For many years, that was the source. Before we had all these digital opportunities now, that was the source. So me as a person who has a home and a mailbox, and just like you and everyone else, you'd open your mailbox and there would be so much mail in there. But now, a lot of those dollars that those companies had been spending on direct mail pieces are now being allocated to digital marketing efforts. There are now a lot more opportunities, and it potentially even could be cheaper for you to be able to target and market using direct mail pieces. Did you know direct mail pieces has an average open rate of 90% versus email, which is in the 20 to 30%? Pretty interesting, right? So why is direct mail making a comeback? Well, like I just said, those high open rates. People will open the piece of mail and read what it is. So nearly every single piece gets seen, unlike oftentimes emails get buried. Tangibility, they're physical item that will create a lasting impression. Unlike an email, you read it once, you hit delete, you can move on. That physical item's going to stick around maybe on the counter for a couple days, but it'll be there. And depending what creative you have on there, it could really get the phone call calling, people calling you today or next week or what have you. And the other piece that I've kind of already hit on was less competition. The inbox of email inboxes are extremely crowded, but your mailbox, not as much. So as you start to think about the idea of your marketing planning and what you're going to be able to do of allocating your dollars, I would just say, hey, just consider the idea of doing a direct mail piece. So let's talk about some direct mail campaigns from a couple teams that I have been working with and their success rate. So one team in particular purchased a list from their chambers. So they bought the list from their local chamber. They went through the list, scrubbed the list, and say, okay, we're going to send it out to these 5,000 people. So they did a mail piece, put it all together, and mailed it off. That cost them about $5,000 to $6,000. It's about $1, and a half per piece. And they have received $45,000 in sponsorship revenue. $45,000 because they were targeting potential sponsors through the chamber list with their mailing. And of course, they did some follow-up. Hey, just wanted to check in, see if you got a mailer about sponsorship opportunities with our organization. But those 45 reached out to them before the team had a chance to start making some phone calls. So that's an idea there to get a list through your chamber, put together some sort of graphical piece for sponsorship outreach. Here's another one. A university is using it to send to their alumni for donations. Now, we've seen these before in the forms of letters. If you went to a university and the university's reached out to you about donating before. So what they did was, this university specifically took a list of past donors who'd give anything from $10 to $2,000. They put it into a list. They created a nice little card that was probably 3.5 inches wide by 8.5, so it was nice thin card, went inside, and was graphically enhanced. It looks great. And on the other side, it talks about donations and how you could donate. This has worked out to be a really great opportunity for them. They've already seen well over $8,000 in the first week since this was sent off. Now, they've got their list there, and they're going to be doing some follow-up, so the number's going to jump. So really great. Another example, another idea for you, warm leads. So you add some multi-game buyers from your games from last season. If you're in soccer, maybe these folks came out to a couple games. Baseball, hockey, this is a great way. You take a look at your warm lead list. You're probably already going to call them, but you've got that list there. Put it into a spreadsheet, create a mailing for these folks there, and send them an offer about something for the upcoming season. Could be a 4-game plan or 6-game plan or season tickets if you're in the soccer realm or rugby or what have you. But that's another idea, is you take your warm leads, your multi-game buyers from this previous season, and do a mailer to them. And let's see what we can turn that into. So really good ideas. Some of the teams were able to do it right before the holidays. Some teams are planning it right before the start of their season on the baseball side. The hockey side, this is great for your off season to be able to plan it as you are starting to wrap up your season now. Soccer, rugby, those types of organizations and sports teams, great for you guys as well. Football, I mean, if you're a university and you have a football program, this is a great opportunity to be able to potentially tie things together for a donation or some sort of season ticket ask for the football season. So great way to be able to do it. All right, now getting started with direct mail. There's a few different ways for you to be able to do this. So you got to understand timing, targeting, and messaging. So let's talk about timing. When do you want this campaign to hit? So it typically takes about a week and a half for a printer to produce whatever it is that you make. So if you start to plan out and say, hey, I want to get this thing sent into the mailboxes of people the first week of March. Well, I want to make sure I get it into the hands of my printer sometime in the middle of February. So I've got a week and a half to be able to get it printed, get it back to me, the proofs, all that good stuff. So you got like week and a half in there from some timing. So you definitely have to think about the timing side of things. Now the targeting. So you could do it a few different ways, just like the teams and the university that has shared. They bought a chamber list. That was who they were targeting. One team did the warm leads for multi-game buyers. They got that out of their ticketing software. The university had their past donors, got that in a list. But if you want to just say, hey, I just want to do a direct mail piece to a specific community, you could certainly do that. But understanding who you are targeting. So if you wanted to do it through a specific community, you could go through USPS, the website, type in or just click on the direct mail campaigns, and it would actually be able to tell you how many people are in a specific community. So if you click in USPS, you click in a specific territory, you can see there's 500 homes here or 1,000 homes or what have you. So you can easily do that. It's pretty easy. Their website's fairly intuitive to be able for you to be able to do that. So targeting though, figuring out who do I want to promote this offer to? And then the final piece is messaging. So once you figure it out, all right, I'm going to target my past game buyers. I'm going to send this out in the middle of March. Baseball season starts in April, or maybe I send it at the beginning part of March for the season, or whatever your timing is. So your messaging, what are you going to promote? What do you want it to look like? Keep it simple. Too much information on a card will be overwhelming. So just try to keep it super simple. Try to be punchy about it. But most importantly, include a call to action. Either they can scan a QR code to buy, or they can call someone to talk about sponsorship opportunities. Whatever that may look like, that's exactly what I would start doing if I were you, is to figure out what's the call to action? What do I want them to do? All of that information has to be on the card. So have that prepared if you're doing a postcard, if you're doing some sort of banner style that goes inside of an envelope and has a label on the front of it. Some printers could actually even print the address and the person's name on the actual envelope. So you could do it a few different ways. But all of what I'm trying to say is don't sleep, don't discount the impact of direct mail, because you've got a great opportunity here to be able to target some folks. If I was to do it this way, I would start to put together my multi-game buyers first. I would do that first to see if we can target them with some sort of offer. I would also do the sponsorship idea. The chamber list would be a great opportunity. Maybe you hadn't thought about that. You want to increase sponsorship dramatically this year. That's an idea there as well. Those two, and maybe there's something you could do halfway through your season. Maybe you're in the hockey season. You've got your list of ticket buyers, and you say, okay, I want to come back around. I've got some folks that came to multiple games. Let's send them a special offer for them to be able to buy season tickets or a flex plan the rest of the year, whatever that may look like. So I want you to kind of think about one direct mail idea that you could implement potentially this season. Could be a holiday campaign, ticket renewal push, whatever it may be. But think about some ideas for you to be able to do a direct mail campaign and see what the effectiveness could be. You may have it where you do the sponsorship and that team with $45,000 in sponsorship and they spent $5 to $6 grand. Like, that's phenomenal. Or it may be something where you break even or you make a little bit of extra money there, but at least you kind of know what works and what doesn't in your community. And I think oftentimes teams discount this idea because they want to get fancy. They really want to use the digital marketing things and Meta and run these different fancy ads and try to do all these different things. But direct mail is definitely a great opportunity for you to be able to see if we can target some folks and sell some tickets. All right. If you found this episode helpful, please take a moment to share a positive rating or review on Apple or Spotify. Until next time.